be looking at the ultimate revenge from CM Punk on AEW. I know a lot of people don't want to believe this story, man. I know a lot of people are putting their fingers in their ears and covering their eyes, and they don't want to hear about WWE going to Warner Brothers Discovery. But the reality of the situation is, folks, this is a real story. This is a developing story. And there is smoke, a lot of smoke, to this fire. Warner Brothers Discovery is absolutely in talks with WWE to bring Monday Night Raw to their network. WWE executives had a long meeting with Warner Brothers Discovery this week about a potential deal for Monday Night Raw. Now, SmackDown leaving USA, or leaving Fox rather, going to USA. No longer will SmackDown be on Fox in 2024. They're landing with NBCU on USA Network. NXT leaving USA Network. They're landing on the CW. Monday Night Raw is without a home. There are several bidders, several suitors for Monday Night Raw. Warner Brothers being one of them. Hulu, Netflix, Amazon, FX. All of these names have been thrown into the WWE pot at one time or another. Meltzer reporting that WWE is looking to get as close to $400 million in rights fees per year for Monday Night Raw, while talks with Warner Brothers seem to be dead after having a meeting with them back in October. They're not dead anymore, especially with CM Punk back in the WWE. The belief is that the Raw deal will be finalized soon. It's also believed Punk opened up what may have been a closed door between WWE and Warner Brothers Discovery. WWE recently booked Punk to work the December 30th WWE house show in Los Angeles against Dominic Mysterio due to them knowing it would get a great live reaction, and WWE could be wanting to impress network executives. PW Insider reports that TKO's Mark Shapiro, Nick Khan, and Triple H went to New York City this past Monday morning this week, where they had a meeting for several hours at Warner Brothers Discovery headquarters with WBD executive Bruce Campbell, who holds the position of Chief Revenue and Strategy Officer, about Raw's rights. It was added that there are still other suitors for Monday Night Raw. Now, obviously, if a deal is reached between WWE and Warner Brothers Discovery, this could have major impact on AEW, who has a deal with Warner Brothers Discovery that runs through the end of 2024. Tony Khan met with Warner Brothers on Tuesday. He's always said that the relationship's been great, and a lot of people are making it out to be that Warner Brothers actually has equity and partially owns AEW. That is not confirmed. We don't know. Community only making assumptions on that. We don't really know what is going on there. Then Nick Hausman, following this report, puts out an exclusive on his website, House of Wrestling. He says this: I spoke with a WWE higher-up yesterday morning and was told that the information was very inaccurate. One of the details pointed to as inaccurate was the internal schedules of Levesque, Nick Khan, and Mark Shapiro of TKO, which apparently did not put them together in New York City on Monday. So we just read a report where they were in New York City on Monday, and now Nick Hausman says, well, they weren't in New York on Monday. I got it from a WWE higher-up that they weren't in New York on Monday. Doubt was also cast that Punk had the kind of influence to cause someone like Warner Brothers Discovery CEO David Zaslav to abandon support of AEW and back WWE. Now, again, is CM Punk a focal point in this? Are the discussions between WWE and Warner Brothers Discovery accelerating because Punk left AEW and now joined WWE? Yes, absolutely, 100%. That is the reason. I'll get to that in a second. But this is making it sound, and these reports are making it sound like CM Punk called up David Zaslav and said, you know what, man, let's go grab some organic hamburgers and a couple of milkshakes, man, and let's go talk some business. I got something to tell you, man, about Tony Khan and the way he handled business, and I'm going to try and convince you that we're the guys, we're the team you should be going with, and fuck them. No, I don't think that happened. I think David Zaslav is a businessman, and he sees where the money is, and the money is in CM Punk. The reason why he feels that way is because the entire fucking premise of AEW was built on the promise of CM Punk. That was it. They were promised Punk, they got Punk, and they gave him his own show. Now Punk is not there. How much interest does Warner Brothers Discovery have in AEW now that CM Punk is not there? You know, this isn't year one, year two AEW. They were probably a little lenient with them and a little forgiving. Yeah, this is a startup wrestling promotion. We all know WWE's the big dog in town. Let them get their feet wet. Let's see what type of content they put out. The fans are loving it. You know, at some point, Warner Brothers Discovery is going to say, you know what? You got a great show. Product is great. Everything's going great. But we need some star power. We got to take it to the next level. We got to move up the ladder here. We can't stay stagnant. We can't stay indie. We got to make sure this company stays and feels and looks like a number two. We can't do that. And we can't be comparable in competition to WWE if we don't have these list of guys, right? CM Punk at the top of the list. I mean, it's just common sense. It really is. But no, I don't think David Zaslav, picked up the phone. Hey, man, Phil, what's going on? And they said collectively, fuck Warner Brothers or fuck AEW. Warner Brothers is going to get in bed with WWE. No, they didn't say that. They didn't say that at all. So Nick Hausman goes on and says, well, this morning, much of what I reported on yesterday's show was reported elsewhere as a fact, eliciting an unprompted text from the same WWE source saying this is all very strange. During a follow-up call, it was relayed to me that WWE executives may be kayfabing those in the company by altering their internal schedules, but that was just speculation. If these talks are happening, they are protected at the highest level. That I do believe. Earlier today, Dave Meltzer reported on the Observer Radio that Punk will be in Los Angeles this week for a house show and will likely be meeting Warner Brothers Discovery executives while in town. It is worth noting that WWE's Holiday Live Event Tour show in Los Angeles does not occur until Saturday, December 30th. We are told that, with Punk being in town to do the house show, they did not respond when pressed about potential meetings. Lastly, the vibe we've been given is that AEW is in danger of not being renewed by Warner Brothers Discovery for TNT or TBS. One scenario that was given to us was that WWE Raw would move to TNT or TBS and AEW would be moved to Discovery. Two higher-up sources in AEW that I spoke with said that was news to them and not something that they had heard. Another said only person who really knows is Zaslav. I know a lot of people don't want to hear this story. I know a lot of people just don't want it to happen. When CM Punk showed up in WWE, everybody was excited. Then he showed up on Monday Night Raw. Didn't really do anything in his return promo after 10 years. But the fact of the matter is, the man who we thought was never going to be back in the company is back. And things just started going downwards for AEW since then. AEW was being moved further and further and further to the back of the line as a priority. Now that CM Punk is with the WWE, everything has just felt different. Everything has changed and will continue to change. Warner Brothers Discovery wanted CM Punk. They got CM Punk. 2 years, things were going great. The entire company was just on television with the full support and backing of Warner Brothers Discovery. Punk is there. They got all these major names. AEW was as hot as they ever been when Punk came in. You just felt the winds of change. I use that term, the winds of change. Now the winds of change have shifted to the WWE side of things. And again, coincidentally, it all revolves around CM Punk. Warner Brothers wanted Punk. They gave him his own show. And I fully believe two things here. Punk didn't want to be there anymore after the first instance. CM Punk did not want to be in AEW. No matter who you want to blame, everyone is to blame for why this man is not in the company. Everyone. Punk did wrong. The Elite did wrong. Tony Khan did wrong. Adam Page, Kenny Omega, you name it. Jack Perry. Whoever had a problem with Punk aided in what happened there that completely just destroyed the company internally. Everybody was to blame. Everybody handled it the wrong way. When Punk got injured and came back and Collision was about to debut, he did not want to be there. They gave him his own show to keep him happy. I know Collision doesn't feel the same anymore. That's AEW's problem. But when Punk was there, Collision was the best show for the 2 months that he was there. We get to All In. The Jack Perry situation happens. We discussed this on the Dynamite post show with Jesse. When the AEW All In situation happened, Punk saw a way out. He saw a light at the end of the tunnel. All right, I don't want to fucking be here anymore. I don't want to deal with this shit. I'm going to get myself fired. That's exactly what he did. Got into an altercation with Jack Perry, lunged at Tony Khan. Next thing you know, CM Punk is fired. Sits home for 2 months and then shows up in Chicago at Survivor Series with the WWE. Warner Brothers did not want CM Punk to be fired. Warner Brothers invested a lot of money into AEW Collision, a lot of money. Warner Brothers Discovery invested a lot of money into AEW with the promise of CM Punk being the face of the company, the face of the brand. Warner Brothers didn't want CM Punk fired. Tony Khan made a decision for the best of AEW. Wasn't what Warner Brothers Discovery wanted. They wanted Punk there. The way I look at it, I truly believe Warner Brothers Discovery looks at Tony Khan and looks at him as a failed leader. They don't trust Tony Khan anymore. They don't trust him as much as they used to. Things were going great. Things were up and up. Things were hot. They're not anymore. And this is business. In the business world, it doesn't matter if Warner Brothers likes Tony Khan, respects Tony Khan. The people there are friends with Tony Khan. It's all about making money. CM Punk is the draw. CM Punk is the game changer. CM Punk is going to be the fucking winds of change. They never wanted Punk to be fired. Now that Punk is with WWE, they clearly trust WWE more than they do AEW and Tony Khan to do the right thing, and they potentially want to be back in bed with CM Punk again. I don't find that to be a coincidence. I don't. I know you guys don't want to hear this story. I know you are wondering what's going to happen with AEW. I don't know what's going to happen with AEW. The rumor says that they may end up on Discovery. They're with Warner Brothers Discovery for another year. After that, AEW may say, all right, goodbye, and we find a new home. Because AEW and WWE existing on the same network, though it's possible, I don't see it being likely. I don't see Warner Brothers Discovery getting in bed with two wrestling entities. It's a possibility, but I don't know. They could say, hey, we want to stay. Discovery is okay. And then they get the streaming deal with Max. But the premise of the streaming deal, that's the big holdup here. Everybody tends to think that Tony Khan is about to get a streaming deal. And I do believe he's going to get a streaming deal. He's probably trying to work something out. He may feel like Warner Brothers Discovery is his best option outside of everything else that is presented to him. And he's going to have to bite the bullet and honestly sit with the fact that, hey, we are a number two and we will always be a number two. They got TNT TBS, which is our home right now, and now we're being delegated to Discovery Network. But it's the streaming deal that is going to be a huge deal for them. And I know Tony Khan is working viciously at that. And that's going to be a big selling point for AEW. He's looking for that streaming deal on Max. I don't know. It's a possibility that AEW could go to USA Network. Sure. AEW go to Fox? Probably not. I don't know why USA Network would trade one wrestling company for the other. I don't really understand that. They already got SmackDown. Why would Tony Khan want to go to USA Network knowing that SmackDown is over there and SmackDown's going to be their number one priority? AEW's pickings are going to be very slim here. I don't want to say that they're dead or they're on the verge of being dead, but it's not looking good for AEW right now. And I don't want to sit here and say CM Punk is a petty bitch. Petty man is CM Punk. You know, another thing that I was thinking about, and I don't really know if anybody has brought this to the discussion either. I know a lot of people said, yeah, let's debut CM Punk at the Royal Rumble. Chicago is too predictable. We've seen so many returns in Chicago with CM Punk. How many times can we sit through the same return and have it be, as special as the last one, right? I was one of those people that said, let's debut Punk in the Royal Rumble. Let's get him in at WrestleMania season. And that's the best way to do it. We've seen it time and time again in Chicago. What if WWE, what if Punk accelerated the return for Chicago, got it done in Chicago, wanted it at Survivor Series. He's got no real, spot on the show. He came out at the end of the show when War Games was over. He just wanted to present himself and be on television and be back with WWE. The presentation and the reaction of CM Punk was everything. It went viral. 35 million X views on that video. God knows how many views on YouTube that it did. It was the number one moments on social media in WWE's history. You don't think Warner Brothers Discovery is looking at that? Who's to say that WWE and CM Punk didn't accelerate this to have it happen in Chicago so that all of this could be taken care of before the end of the year, and Punk is now squarely integrated in on WWE television? Why wait till the Royal Rumble when you can just debut CM Punk back with the WWE after 10 years and facilitate talks with Warner Brothers Discovery? Hey, here you go, man. This is the game changer. Let's get the money that we want. Punk is at the helm of this deal. $400 million. There you go. I don't know, man. I just find it to be very, very weird how things just played out the way that they did with this CM Punk story. I don't want to sit here being a conspiracy theorist, but it's just unbelievable how things have transpired legitimately in the last 3 weeks. And we're now looking at a potential where AEW may be ousted off of their own network, where we heard for years Tony Khan and Warner Brothers Discovery has this great budding relationship and they love everything that they're doing. No, they don't. The fans see it, the fans feel it, and I'm sure Warner Brothers Discovery, who's invested a lot of fucking money into AEW, also sees it. It's not the same company anymore. I don't give a shit what any of the elitists or the fans say. It's not the same company. Something's off, it doesn't feel right, and leadership is not where it needs to be. How can Warner Brothers Discovery trust Tony Khan when Warner Brothers Discovery did not want CM Punk to be fired in the first place? How are they going to look at Tony Khan and trust him to do anything right if the one man that they wanted, the one man that they paid all their money for, is now gone? Do you think they're going to feel that same way about Triple H and Nick Khan running WWE with CM Punk back? No. They're going to be more comfortable giving them $400 million than giving AEW whatever the fuck they're going to be getting. No matter how you cut it, no matter how you look at it, AEW is in some fucking trouble. Because they were banking on this TV deal to basically keep them alive for the next 5 years. Right now, I don't want to say, and I don't want to tell you that they're dead, but my God, man, they're hanging on with one lifeline left to go. And I don't know where they're going to land, and I don't know what their next move is going to be. You can give me all the best wrestling matches in the world with all the best wrestlers in the world. I don't want to fucking hear it. It's not going to save AEW this time. They need true leadership. They need leadership. They don't have it. The company's changed. I don't know how much more I could document it. Doesn't feel the same. It doesn't feel like the AEW that we fell in love with. And you could sit there and claim, oh, CM Punk is not a game changer. CM Punk is this. CM Punk is that. Fuck out of here with that garbage. The man is back on WWE television, and in 3 weeks, we're already talking about AEW's TV partners dumping them for the WWE because Punk is back. And I don't like bragging about it, but when Drew puts news out on Tuesday night, he doesn't do it for speculation or clicks or anything. Stop doubting when we report something. It's always going to be a topical discussion. Always. We do it because it's great discussion. It's a debate show. We brought it up. We talked about it. I didn't know that was in the news. I had a bunch of fucking questions. I still have a bunch of questions. Where's AEW going to land? What about the streaming deal? Where does the NBA fit into all this when you know Warner Brothers Discovery still wants the NBA? Are they going to pay for the NBA and the WWE with all the rumors of them filing for bankruptcy? I don't know. I don't know. But at the end of the day, you shouldn't want AEW to die. You don't want AEW to be dead. I don't give a shit how you feel about the company. AEW cannot die. With them being around, it's opened up, depending on how you want to look at it, opportunity for more men and women to be employed. Tony Khan has taken great care of the people that he's employed. WWE has gotten better with the existence of AEW. Tony Khan and AEW brought back CM Punk after 8 years of being retired. I mean, that speaks volumes. The way that I look at it, without Tony Khan and without AEW, WWE doesn't have CM Punk right now. If AEW didn't bring back CM Punk would be right now at home making some lunch with Larry running around the condo, April reading a book on the couch, and Punk getting ready for the fucking Blackhawks game tonight. Without AEW, CM Punk is not in WWE at Survivor Series. Fact. So you can thank Tony Khan for that. All the WWE elitists can thank Tony Khan for bringing Punk to the WWE. They won't admit it, but that's the fact. AEW's made WWE better. They made them step up their game. Competition is a healthy thing. There's so many net positives to AEW being around. I don't know why you would want one wrestling company to rule them all. Where's everybody gonna go? They're feeding their families, they're happy, they're healthy, they're making a living. Without AEW, where are they gonna go? Making peanuts on the indies. You think WWE is gonna fucking scoop up everybody? No, they're not. They're not. This is a major developing situation, and Punk is at the helm. This is a story. This is a real story. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't. But my internal gut feeling says that by the end of the year, WWE will be announcing that their new home is on Warner Brothers Discovery. And again, the conspiracy theorist in me, I find it to be very weird how all of this is developing legitimately within the last 3 to 4 weeks. WWE can go, listen, they could be using Warner Brothers as leverage to go get a bigger deal from FX, to go get a bigger deal from somebody else. But I find it very strange how they're just in discussions with Warner Brothers Discovery. This is in the news. They know that AEW is with them. Again, I don't want to fucking be a conspiracy theorist, but WWE can have the pick of the litter with anybody. They offer 52 weeks of content every single year. No reruns, no off-season. WWE and pro wrestling in general is a very lucrative and attractive offer, attractive company for a TV network. When there's off-seasons in the NHL, off-seasons in the MLB, the NBA, when there's dead periods in the middle of the winter, when there's nothing going on, you can rely on pro wrestling to give you fresh, new content on a weekly basis. But Warner Brothers Discovery? How much of this is a very strategic and very petty chess game by Nick Khan and Triple H? Hey, man, we're going to go with Warner Brothers Discovery, even though we know this guy's over there. Is this their way of potentially killing them off once and for all? Again, I just find it how everything just materialized the way that it did. Very weird how all of this now within the last 3-4 weeks has come about. So many questions, very little answers. But at the end of the day, you're not going to hear from a Sapp. You're not going to hear from a PW Insider and Mike Johnson. You're not going to hear from Meltzer and Alvarez. You're not going to hear from Houseman. You know, all these people, all these dirt sheets, they're fed bullshit for their site. Some people don't put out the news because they don't find it to be credible, and they have to go back and find sources upon sources upon sources. There's nothing wrong with leading a discussion based on, hey, man, what about this? What about that? Speculation, debate, talking points. That's exactly what we did on Tuesday night. And for some odd reason, this has become a snowball heading down a mountain. And the avalanche that is WWE, Warner Brothers, and AEW, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm legitimately just flabbergasted at how everything just came about. But this is a real story. And you need to start paying attention to it, because with what I know and what I've been told, imminently, this is about to change the game. And changes are coming. What that means for AEW, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think of this down below. I love to hear opinions on this. I really would. Let me know what you think of the Punk influence, Warner Brothers. Let me know how you're thinking about AEW, where they're potentially going to land, what the situation is in your thoughts. Comment down below in the comment section of this very video. Guys, hit that thumbs up. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. And make sure you guys go check out all the other content on the channel. There is plenty of it. Until next time, guys, I'll be back with more developing news on this story and all other news right here on Off the Script. I'll see you guys later.